Well, you travel with your daughter, and I see you living your best life in Paris, eating a baguette on the Seine, and it's like, oh,
We
you should
have
hear
a
the words I say.
ball.
You should hear the words I say when I see those pictures.
You bitches. Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
like, oh my God, this. How am I at home on my couch with my anxiety-ridden dog, and you're just having a glass of wine and some cafe we
I
just rolled
know. I
into,
know. We know
and
how to
you
do
can
it.
hear me yelling at the screen.
You are listening to What's Next? Conversations with Boomers, and I'm your host, Barb Demaray. So, if you're a boomer, there's a very good chance that you are considering downsizing or you already have downsized. And downsizing involves purging our stuff. And we've all got way too much stuff. So I have brought in my friend Richard Ferguson, who actually has been on twice before because I had to downsize majorly about a year and a half ago. And we had an episode sort of talking about the anticipation of my move. And then we had another session, sounds like a counseling. Another session. We had another episode of how was it? And as it turns out, I'm absolutely loving it. And despite the fact I had to purge things. So I called Richard and he said, yes, he would come on. And he said, in fact, I'm going through that right now. So a very warm welcome back to you, Richard.
Thank you. Great to be back.
It is so great to have you. The first thing I want to ask you, because I need to know, how are Dave and Barbara? I mean, we did have a little convo before, but just in
Yeah, they're
general.
good. Little Barbara's my little Mexican rescue, and she's the sweetest thing on the planet. She loves everybody. And then there's Dave. Dave is a handful and a half, but he's lovely. He's lovely, but he's a handful. Don't kid
So,
yourself.
so Dave and Barbara, for the listeners, these are Richard's dogs, who he's very attached to, and they're little Dachshunds, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, you've got to love the names.
Yeah, they're
Dave.
pretty good.
Yeah, he had
And he
Dave for
suits his name. He suits his name.
Does he?
He really does. Yes. He's a Dave. He's a
Well,
Dave.
then you had Dave for a while, and then you said you got a new one, and guess what? Guess what the new one's name is? What? Barbara.
And she's such a Barbara, actually. Oh, here comes Dave now. Here
Oh,
comes Dave.
Dave. Oh, Dave. You could put him on. Put
Oh,
him
you
on the
can't
screen.
see him because of the gloom. There we go.
Oh. Okay. Anyway, so first of all, let's. You said yes. I am going through that. I'm in the process of having to get rid of stuff. So what we want to talk about is, why do we have such a problem letting go of stuff? Why do some of us accumulate? Let's just call it what it is. It's just a bunch of shit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just stuff over stuff. So tell us what you're going through right now.
Well, it's kind of funny. This kind of started a couple weeks ago when my mom, one of her friends passed away, and she was talking to me about all of the stuff. And so I said to my mom goes, well, what do you want when I'm gone? And so I said, well, nothing. And she goes, what do you
That's
mean?
the
I said,
thing.
well, I have a
Exactly.
house. I don't want your couch. I don't want your dining room. I don't want your dishes. I have everything. And she's like,
Yeah.
that's so rude. And I looked at her and I said to her, well, what if I died tomorrow? What do you want? Well, I have no room. Well, there, we're even.
Well, there you go. Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
so at the end of the day, when they were moving, when they downsized years ago and they were moving and we cleaned out her closet, I found basically everything I'd ever given her in the last 10, 15 years in her closet.
In her closet.
And it all had to go away. So at that moment, I realized I'm never giving a gift that's a tangible item. I'm
Mhm.
only giving things that are experiences or edible. because sometimes people don't want to spend $50 on a box of Purdy's. So if you give somebody a box of Purdy's, it's a great treat. And then it gets used and it gets appreciated. So then I came home and I started thinking, okay, when I go, who's going to dig through all my stuff and what's going to happen? And it's got to start disappearing. And it's hard. It's not easy because we're saving stuff for life events that are never going to happen. You go
Exactly.
you go shopping and you buy an outfit for, if it's a Tuesday in August and the sun is at about 18 degrees and I get invited to an impromptu picnic on the beach that's also a barbecue, this would be perfect.
Uh-huh.
And that never happens. It never happens. So you have a
No.
room full of stuff, and then you have another room, and then another room, and another room. When I moved into my place 10 and a half years ago, everybody parked in their garage. And now, 10 years later, we're all parking in our driveways.
Your garage is storage.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. And the problem is it's getting stuff for, like I say, life events that are never going to happen. And it's getting gifts from people. I think the worst thing that can happen as an adult is somebody buys you a gift. I don't want it.
I know.
Nothing personal. I don't want it. It's not, I'd rather go out for lunch. I'd rather go get our nails done. I'd rather have a massage, anything.
Go to a
Just don't buy me
play,
a
go to,
gift. Yes.
yeah,
Laugh at
yeah.
a comedian. And so, and now going through the stuff, I mean, if I were to die right now, 99.5% of the stuff means nothing to anybody. I see the quilt behind you, and I have a quilt that my great grandmother, who would be like 135 now if she was still alive, 125. She was born in 1900. Anyways,
God bless her
if
soul.
I still had, yes, she was amazing. If I still have that quilt, well, you're going to open it. You're going to go, what is this? And it would immediately go to Value Village, and it would be just, 1999, and it means nothing to anybody.
I know.
So we got to
I
let it
know.
go. And my neighbor, being a realtor, I sold my neighbor, and so she's moving. Her daughter left, and the second her daughter left, she put her place up for sale and she sold it. And she's moving to a 1 bedroom because she doesn't want her to come back. She doesn't want her to come back. Sorry, my dog. There's Dave.
Oh,
She doesn't
Dave.
want her to come back. And so, anyways, the thing that's interesting about it is she was going through her garage and she opened a bin and it was like everything to do with Christmas. And she said, I'm never hosting Christmas again. It can all go. And I said, well, aren't there any that your daughter has made? Or, yeah, doesn't matter. It can go. And she just let it go. It was so easy. She just let it go. It was bye. The daughter graduated. And when the daughter graduated, there was a box of like the gown and cap and gown and everything. And she phoned her daughter and she said, do you want this? And the daughter's like, no,
No,
just let
no.
it go.
Well, that and don't we admire people that can just say, don't want it, don't need it?
Let
Yeah.
it go. Because the thing is, the second, I mean, I've often said that when I do die, and there's a funeral, do it in my driveway. And when everybody leaves, they have to take one or two things with them when they go.
Do it
So
in
they
your
have to, it's the best way to get rid of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's the thing is that, we are all going to die.
Yeah.
Somebody has to deal with all this stuff that we've accumulated. And, is that fair?
And you really do want to do it when you're still able. Like I have a relative right now that's, all of a sudden had a heart attack and all of a sudden the life has changed. And
Oh,
now she has to go through all of this and her life will never be the same because it brought on all these other challenges. And all of a sudden now it's like she's got to deal with all of this. And how do you do it when you're not 100%? You want to deal with it when you are 100% because it makes it easier. And, don't get me wrong. I'm a stuff guy. I love stuff. I love options. I love to have an assortment, but I use the same plate, the same bowl, the same spoon. It's the same. I need one of a few things. That's it. Like it really is crazy. But we have it because I guess it feeds something within us that, I don't know, justifies it or what have you. I mean, you see these people that are like, I only have 13 items in my closet and that's it. That's what I use. And you think about it, when you do laundry and you wash socks and underwear and shirts and you then put it back on the top of the pile, well, that's what you end up using. I'm doing laundry of the same things every week. It's not like any of the stuff that's in my closet I'm actually getting to because there's not enough days. There's not enough stuff to wear all of this stuff.
Well, that is the thing about clothes, and I think we all do that. We pull out the same stuff. Dishes, we only use so many. Clothes, we may have a whole pile of clothes. We only use so many. But okay, we're not psychologists, so for our listeners, we're
Okay, so
not
one of the best things I heard just recently, somebody said, and this is going to be crude, but somebody said, and the second they said it, I'm like, yeah, if if any of your treasures was covered in dog feces, covered in shit, would you rinse it off or would you throw it away? 99.9% of the time, you're going to just throw it away. So that's what you have to look at. It's not whether it sparks joy or anything like that. It's if this was covered in feces, am I keeping it or not? Well,
right,
I
exactly.
don't want to let it go. Let it go.
Right. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I know. I've got a box of off-season clothes in my storage. I don't even know what's there. Like I obviously don't. I don't even know what's there. I don't miss what. Where is that?
No, see,
Such and such.
when I was in a house before my townhouse, and I lived there for almost 6 years. And I had in the corner of the garage, I had like 5 or 6 boxes that were stacked up in the corner, and then I kind of built stuff around it and just like other storage. And when I was getting ready to move, it's always the last sort of push, and I thought, I don't even know what's in these boxes. You know what? Let them go. I still to this day, it's been 10 and a half years. I have no idea. I've never once said, oh, I missed something, or I wonder where that is. You got to
Exactly.
just let it go.
You just have to let it go. I know. I don't know how I was able to do this when I had to get rid of stuff, but I simply was able to say, okay, I had 20 years of that. I had 10 years of that. Oh, I got my 30 years worth out of that. And I don't miss a single thing, Richard. But
No.
this is an issue with so many people is they absolutely can't let go of this stuff. And this is what, I think, well, somebody, and those of us who have kids, it's usually our kids, they're going to have to go through all this shit, or it's going to be somebody has to deal with it. And, you
Yes.
know,
And they're not going to be happy about it. I'll tell you right now, they're not going to be happy about it. I had a client who was moving into a nursing home and she'd lived in the same apartment for 26 years and she could only take a few things with her and the rest was left behind. And the son had come in from the States. He didn't even live here and he was here trying to deal with it. And it just all and it all had to go. It all had to go. Like it now became a complete burden. He was here for 2 weeks trying to deal with it. And the thing is that in the end, we found a church organization through you, actually. I
oh,
remember I
this you
reached out
you
to you.
contacted. Oh, that's
Yeah.
good.
And they came, I called her, and the next day they came and they had brought a truck and a trailer and they took everything. I was so happy. It was the best. And it went to great people that are going to be so happy. And it was so fantastic. And it worked out so, so beautifully. So that is a great resource to have to think about your local, your local community church. And when they
Yeah,
have,
well, they were sponsoring people some people had come from Mexico that didn't have a
yeah,
single thing. And
it was perfect. There's just so much stuff that has to be readdressed. And I mean, don't get me wrong. My friends are going to watch this podcast and they're going to laugh because they're going to be like, oh, yeah, Richard has a lot of stuff. You know, my new rule is when I wear an outfit for the day, at the end
yeah,
of the day, if I don't like the way it felt or the way it fit, or if I don't like the way it washed, it goes. It has to go. Like I'm no longer wearing shoes that are uncomfortable. I'm no longer wearing anything that doesn't fit or that just doesn't sit right. You know, you have a shirt with a collar and it just, the collar
yeah,
always does something. No,
and you don't put it on.
no, it's got to go. And if it's not, it's got to go. And so I am getting better and I'm trying to, one of the things that sort of worked for me in the beginning when I decided to make this change is that I used to go and buy so many groceries, and during the pandemic, pre-pandemic, all of that, and I would buy these groceries, and then I would put them in a cupboard, and I'd forget about them, and they fall behind because my pantry is so deep, and so I found food that had expired years ago, and I'm like, okay, so
Oh,
now it's my one bag rule. When I go grocery shopping, it's whatever fits in one bag. That's it. I don't get a basket. I don't get a cart. It's only what I can carry. And that's the only groceries that come in. That's it. One
oh,
bag.
that's your, so you're not Costco shopping.
No. Well, and I live by myself. The last thing I need is 42 pounds of mustard.
Right.
Not interested. Not
Right.
interested.
Well, this is the thing about, as you know, where I live, that Save On is the grocery stores across the street. And I literally just, I need some butter right now. I'll go and get some and come back. And yeah, there's no shopping ahead anymore. I just buy exactly what I need and that's it.
It's so funny that you say that because I was away in November, December. I went away and I visited my cousin in Denmark, and I was in Amsterdam, and I was traveling around. And
Oh, wow.
you go into their grocery stores, and their grocery stores are literally like a 20 by 20 room. Like they're
I know.
tiny. And you go in and you think, okay, they sell Oreos not in a 3 pack like you normally buy. They just sell one sleeve of Oreos, and that's all you get. And when you go down their cookie aisle, they don't have all of the food like we have, where it's 4,000 different types of Oreos. They have one option, and it's a sleeve, and that's it. And you buy all natural, you buy, food basically for the day or the next day, and that's it. And then you go about your business. So everything's fresh.
Right. And they live in small places. That's one reason. Most of them live in
Absolutely.
apartments.
Their fridges are tiny. They don't have all the room for all of the stuff. I mean, how often are you having to clean out your fridge? Like, that's a horrible, horrible thing that we have to do, is clean out our fridge because there's so much waste. It's horrible. That's in 2025 that we're throwing away food is horrific.
I
So
know.
it's the same with stuff. We're buying stuff, we're bringing it home, and it's sitting on a shelf or sitting on a rack somewhere. And then we take it from that rack or that shelf, and we take it home and we put it on our rack or our shelf, and it sits there. And then all of a sudden, at some point, we are like, oh, I don't want to get rid of it, because what if that August 12th day or August 14th day happens and I get invited? Now, watch, this year I'm going to get invited to a barbecue on a beach, and I'm going to be like, I should have kept that. It's
And you should have brought
like,
that. You should have got that outfit. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
okay. I actually looked, I asked Chat GPT, I asked the question, why can't we let go of things? So this was the answer. Letting go of things we collect over the years can be very difficult because those items often become symbols of our identity,
Yeah.
memories, and emotional connections. They represent moments in time, relationships, achievements, dreams, or even past versions of ourselves. There's also a sense of comfort and continuity in familiar objects, especially as we age. They can anchor us during life changes or uncertainties. For some, there's even a fear that letting go of the item means losing the memory or significance of that. I mean, that's an interesting perspective. What do you think?
What what are some of the greatest moments of your life thus far?
The greatest moments of my life, well, they're experiences, they're things I did. I mean, they're not things.
What were you wearing?
Who knows? I can only, if I have it in a picture.
But then even
Uh,
then, it's like, oh, I don't even remember that shirt, or I don't. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can remember the birth of your children. You can remember when
yeah.
you got married. You can remember standing on a boat in the middle of the water in the, French Riviera. Whatever it is, you can remember that. But what were you wearing? What bag did you have? Did you
Yeah,
have
yeah.
what, like, none of it matters. And it's so funny that we put it, I guess maybe there's a bit of a psychology, because the great moments in our life are not few and far between, but there's, a handful of them. And then there's just the everyday. And I think the stuff gives us, maybe a fantasy life, or an alternate reality that kind of takes us somewhere. Like, and I don't know that it's like people don't collect couches, but they collect shoes. You know, people don't, collect, appliances, but they collect other things. Like it's just kind of interesting that we associate stuff with joy, but really the greatest joys in our lives are moments that have been incredible experiences.
Exactly. We get joy when we buy something and it lasts about an hour and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, because then
And
we take it home and it's like, where do I put
I put this
this?
and well, how much do you think we've been influenced by media and in our case now, social media, advertising? I mean, have we all
Yeah, I
been
think it's
programmed?
worse now. I think it's worse now because how many hours a day are you on your phone? You get a report every week.
Sorry,
And the
not
thing
going to
is,
admit it.
yeah, that's what I mean. How many hours? So you're actually getting bombarded. I think this is the most impressive time for marketing ever in the history of the world. It's not even when it was first out. It is unbelievable how many seconds it takes for them to get you. And the way commercials are and the way they do it and the science behind it, the education behind it, the statistics, like it's unbelievable that they come at you for all of this stuff. But at the end of the day, we fall prey to it. You do, I do, we all do.
Oh yeah,
And the reality is, we're filling something that is completely unfillable. It's a tank that will never be full. It's something that you know, we will never be satiated by the need to acquire things. It will never stop. It will never end. So it's sort
exactly.
of, I guess, maybe choose your poison. Like, do you want to have experiences? Like, I'm dating someone new, and in this relationship, it's about experiences. I'm like, you don't want stuff. I don't want stuff. I want to go and go and see a play or go to a comedian or
Do
go to a
stuff.
concert. I saw Kylie Minogue recently, and I mean, I went to go see Kylie, one of the greatest concerts ever. It was so incredible. And it's just it's experiences that are always going to be better than any form of a sweater, even though I do like sweaters.
Well, it's true. It's yeah, it's experiences. Um, I follow lifestyle influencers, a few of them, and I've almost got to the point where, this is just pure gluttony. I like this so much about five, and we're replacing this and we're getting this. And, I just want to show you some dresses that I bought. And, I'd already seen, 500 of the last few. This is just disgusting to me now. It's just overconsumption, stuff that we do not need. And not to say the impact on the environment, which is a whole other topic.
Yeah.
It's horrible. It is
Well, and
horrible.
you lived in a big space before, and the thing is, you had the room that you could deal with it later, deal with it later, deal with it later. Well, now later has come, and now you have to deal with it. And you dealt with it, and you moved into a smaller space, and you don't need any of that stuff.
And
You
I
haven't
don't
missed
miss
a
it.
single thing. No.
I,
And
I,
it
I
brought joy to somebody else that probably didn't have as much or didn't have barely anything. So it ended up serving its purpose and it got a new light. Because I think there's nothing worse than having beautiful dishes that sit in a cupboard and never get used. That's so unfair to the dishes. Like it's just treat them better, use them. Like
well, of
I
course.
actually the dishes I use are really good ones. I don't use, I use my fancy ones. That's what I use every day.
Well, that's what we all should be doing. Use the good stuff. I mean,
Yeah, of
what are we saving it
course.
for?
And wear the outfit. Like if I feel like getting dressed up and I feel like then do it. Don't save it for good. Every day is good. If you wake up, that's a good day.
That's a good
Some
day.
people
I
don't
know.
wake up, right? So if
I,
you wake up, it's a good day. You gotta go and use it. But I think it's just tackling the mind over everything. And it's maybe you have to continuously remind yourself. I know if I don't finish this project and if I don't get it done, if I were to die tomorrow, the people who would come and dig through my life, I got to do it before they do. I got
well,
to
that's
do it
right.
before they do.
That's right. I mean, this is a given. Our days are going to end at some
Yeah.
point, and somebody is going to be plowing through our stuff. And yeah,
And it's funny because even if you were to go and say one of the great moments was a vacation or college and you saved this, whatever, this book from whatever it is, you saved that item. A new person would look at that, one of your kids will look at it and they'll be like, I don't know, what's this?
I know.
Donate. It means nothing. It means nothing. You
I
find
know.
that quilt that my great grandmother made that means the world to me. I love it. And this, you'll look at it, you'll be like, oh my God, was this like, what kind of project was this? This is horrible. It would immediately go. It means nothing, nothing to you.
I
It's
know.
not, it's less than nothing. You're probably angry that you have to deal with it because it's now a problem that you have to solve. Like, if all of a sudden you got a phone call that God forbid, one of your loved ones passed away and you're now enlisted to go and clean out their, 3,000 square foot home
Exactly.
for 40 years.
I know. Well, this is something that I don't think a lot of us think about. Somebody is going to have to deal with all this stuff. And the more we accumulate, the like, oh,
And then the thing that's crazy about it is when it gets to that point, a dumpster gets dropped off in the driveway and everything goes to the dump because it's easy. You want to solve so much, if you talk about the environment, you talk about all of that. This is the worst thing that can be done because all of the stuff is just going. It's going to cause so much problem. It's better if you can get rid of it bit by bit by bit. So I am purposely trying to take more bags out than in. And I am trying to get rid of things and stuff that doesn't fit, stuff that doesn't work, stuff that doesn't serve me. For that one particular August day, it's got to go.
it goes.
Gotta go.
Yeah.
And in
Well,
August, it's too hot to be going to a barbecue, anyways.
well, I try and have a rule. If I buy something, then I have to something that I already have has to go. So I mean, I can't just keep, And luckily, I just don't have the room here. So
Yeah, and so
it's
you've done really well and you got there really quick and it happened. But yours was also out of a service to your family. Like you did a big juggle. And so you again, as a mom, making a sacrifice for your kids once again.
once
Once
again.
again, another sacrifice. It just never ends. It never ends. And so you sacrificed a whole bunch of stuff. And I wonder, your son that moved into the townhouse, I wonder how much stuff he's accumulated since he's been there now for 2 years.
Lots. Let me tell you, lots. And his wife is a closeaholic. Their closet that used to be mine is, of course, hers, and Mark calls it a logjam.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
I
I have a
can't,
closet room.
a
I have
closet
my
room.
second bedroom is a room.
Okay, Richard, come on.
Well, I mean, I waited my whole life for that, and so I don't begrudge it. I had California Closets come in and do it. It's beautiful.
Oh,
But
oh,
during COVID, I think COVID messed with a lot of people and it 100% messed with me. It became, and I got a puppy during COVID, so I had to kind of barricade the room. So it did become a bit of a just would toss stuff in there. And so that is the last thing I'm going to attempt. I'm trying to do everything else other than that. And then when I get to that room, it'll be kind of interesting because there's a lot of stuff in there and I'm sure it's 90% of it has to go because I don't even know what's in there.
well, you'll feel good. Well,
Oh, it's
another
going to be
thing about
great.
this tiny little place that I'm in, there is no dumping ground.
No,
There's nowhere to just, I'll just put it there. I'll leave it there. There's no place like that. So
no, you have to deal with it.
I have to deal with it. Yeah. And I'm not really that keen on living around a whole bunch of clutter. So yeah, it's been an adjustment, but it's been fabulous. I don't, really and truly, it's been a wonderful move for all of us. And as you say, it was completely unplanned.
And you
But
don't need a two bedroom. You don't need bigger. This is more than enough.
I wouldn't say more than enough, but it's certainly enough. I couldn't have somebody else living here. Okay, I
Why
hate
would
to
you
admit
want
this.
to?
No, I
Why would
wouldn't.
you want to?
No, no.
Why? I think what would be perfect is if you did, they could live in the same building, but
Yeah,
on a
yeah,
different floor. That's close enough.
yeah, yeah. That's close enough. Yeah.
That's
Well, you
close
know what?
enough.
I've
Or
got stuff in my trunk that I haven't dealt with. What am I going to do with this stuff? I just like, oh.
Okay, I have
Anyway,
to tell a funny story. I have to tell a funny story. Okay, so this was a great story. So you know how everybody has CDs and all of that. I had a Rubbermaid bin of CDs that I had saved since the beginning of time. And my car no longer has a CD player. The new cars don't have that.
right. No,
And
exactly.
I had a CD player, but it broke and I never bought a new one. So I had this Rubbermaid bin of CDs in my garage for 10 years. And then before that, 5.5, almost 6 years. So 16 years, these CDs have been in that Rubbermaid bin. And I have always said, I got to let it go. But it was a connection to my childhood. And I thought I can't. And then I was in the garage the other day. I grabbed the bin, I put it in my truck, and I took it and I dropped it off at the Goodwill, and it's gone.
Oh,
Oh,
good.
there was
Good.
probably thousands of CDs in that bin, and it was so heavy, and I carried it around for 16 years. 16 years. And then I had to let it go. It's got to go because I'm never going to, if I want music, you just go online. You just go on your
Exactly.
phone and I can find a song instead of me digging through CDs, putting it in. And I'm never going to do that. That's not the world we live in anymore. Now,
No,
if you
no.
enjoy music, of course, that's your one thing. You like records or CD, of course, enjoy it. But it wasn't doing anything but taking up space in the garage. It had to go. I let it go. I was so proud of myself for letting
So
it go.
yeah, it felt like a cleanse, eh? Did it?
Absolutely.
Just felt
And
like
I'm
it
not
was
going to
free.
miss it because I haven't even opened it for 16 years. I
Oh,
even
see
let the
this.
bin go. I even let the rubber
You have the Rubbermaid bin too.
take it all. Take it all.
Well, there's people that are sort of music historians and they keep all the old stuff. And also there's some people they still have a CD player and that's what they want to do.
Perfect.
Yeah, the rest of us we go into Spotify and literally just play anything you want and
Yeah. And I
yeah.
mean, the thing is that I even find when there's no more CD players, I don't like commercials when I'm driving. I just want music, and so I often just have silence because I don't want all those commercials. The last thing I want is when I'm driving, I want there to be a safe space from commercials, and I think the car should be the safe space from commercials.
Hmm.
So I
Hmm.
don't, because you're not on your phone, you're not on anything. Like, don't reach me. I don't need to buy Tide or I don't need to do anything while I'm driving. I'm good. I just
Yeah.
need silence.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So what's one thing that
Okay.
you were surprised that you got rid of? Was there one thing that you surprised that you surprised yourself that you thought you'll never get rid of?
I don't think that I've ever looked at anything I've owned and said I'll never get rid of that. But I loved my home. I loved the things in it. I loved my decor. I loved so much, and I knew that I could only take a fraction of this. I no, there's nothing.
Do you
I mean,
feel like you're less
honestly,
of a
I'd have to
person?
really think. Do I
Do you
think? Do I
feel
feel
like you're
like
less of a person for doing it? Like, do you feel like life is lacking?
just a fraction of the person I
Yes.
was?
Do you
Thought,
feel, but does it like, do you lay in bed and go, oh, that, gravy boat I shouldn't have gotten rid of? Like, do you think anything like that?
never. Never, never. In fact, I just got a new pantry, like custom pantry, because the other one it wasn't organized very well. Anyway, which required me to empty the whole thing,
Yeah, yeah.
and then when it was done, to put it back. But there was things in there, like there was silver, like a silver platter,
Mhm.
a cream and sugar thing, silver that needs cleaning. And I thought, I haven't touched this. My children, I can tell you 100% they don't want it. So toss it. And
When my mom was moving years ago, she gave me her silver tea set that someone had given to her. I think her parents gave it to her. And so she had the silver tea set and she hated it because she had to polish it. And
exactly.
I have it at the bottom of my cabinet over there. You can't even see it because I have a chair in front of the cabinet and it's sitting there. And the second I'm gone, you're going to come over or someone's going to come over and they're going to go through and they're going to be like, oh my gosh, what is this? This is
Why the
black
hell is
tar.
he still got? Did he keep this?
Garbage. Means nothing. It means nothing. But I took it because my mom wanted to get rid of it, and I took it foolishly. So even if you can just kind of give it to friends or people or to here, take it. here, take it. Then it becomes their problem. Pass the buck. It's
I,
perfect.
but we have to acknowledge that our lifestyle now is just very, very different than it was in the 60s
Yeah.
or 70s. We're just, people polished their silver back then, and it was just something you did, but no thanks.
Now, and the thing is that have you noticed a difference? Like if you have dinner parties or you have people over, it's just less people, or you go out, or it's just a different way of doing it. Doesn't make it bad. It just makes it different. It's a new chapter. Like I'm sure you get together with your kids. Either you go now to your son's house or they come to you and it's a smaller venue, it's a smaller atmosphere, and it's okay. It's good.
Yeah,
And when your
yeah.
grandson comes over and he plays, does he have fun?
He does have fun. Yeah, yeah.
Does he is he like, oh grandma, I wish you lived in the big house?
He doesn't even remember that I used to live there. He just has no recollection. That's his house, and as far as he's concerned, he's always lived there. But he
Yep.
really would rather play there, I have to tell you,
Oh, just because his stuff is there.
because his stuff is there. Exactly.
Yeah, but if he comes over to you, it's probably easier if you go there because then there's no mess in your house as well.
Oh, yeah, I know. When he does come here, all my like candles stuff is all taken and made into a structure, and
Yeah,
candles broken, and and it's just all over. So
yeah. And it's funny because I'm watching my friend do this and she's doing it and she's ruthless about it. And the ruthlessness, and I just keep questioning her, and it's empowering me because I'm doing the same thing at a bit of a slower pace, but it's happening because she has to move, so she has a deadline. But I am every week I want stuff out. I want stuff to be gone. And
well, I
so I
think
have
that's a
piles
good goal for all of us, especially if you're living in
always.
a, because you're not in a one-bedroom apartment, you're in a bigger place.
Yeah, I'm in a townhouse that's got way too much stuff in it. Way too
See,
much. I mean, it's gotta go. It's gotta go. I mean, I have hoses that are backup hoses to my hoses. Like it's just crazy. Like it's just crazy, right? And I
this
have like all this stuff to clean my car and I never wash my car. I let somebody else do it. Like it's just I have serving dishes for a party I'm never gonna host. Like it's all gotta go.
okay,
It's all gotta
you
go.
may need therapy around this.
Yeah, good.
I've got
This is
hoses,
part
I've
of it.
got backup hoses for my hoses, and I do not use hoses.
Well, just because I used to have a hose that was like a green hose, and then you saw on TikTok shop or you saw on
Yeah.
Instagram a commercial about those hoses that, you turn them on and they kind of expand. And so I'm like,
Uh-huh.
oh, I'll try that. They take up less room. So I bought it and it's perfect. That's the hose I use. But for some reason, I didn't get rid of the other one. Well, I'm
You're
never going
going
to
to
use it.
now, after this conversation,
Yes.
you're going to go home
I'm going to
and
take the hose and I'm going to get rid of it. It's going to go.
and it's going to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we're kind of coming to the end here. Are there any final thoughts that we want to? I mean, I don't know if we really accomplished anything, but I think it's good to have a conversation about these
I'm
things.
sorry. I'm sorry. No, it's really hard. And I think it's an
It is
emotional
hard.
journey. And it's an emotional journey. And it's better when you do it when you're in control of doing it. When you can actually take the time and do it, I think it's better. Like I have decided that I'm not buying certain things until I use up like I'm never going to buy another candle until I use up my candles. I'm never going to buy a tea light until I use up my tea lights. I'm never going to buy another towel until all my towels are threadbare.
Okay, I'm going to hold
Like
you to that.
absolutely. And I've been really good at not doing it. And the same with like bathroom products. Like I'm not going to buy another cream or a lotion or a
Well,
hairspray.
that's another thing we accumulate. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I'm just not. And the thing is that you have to, you know, I think every day you come through your threshold at home, what are you carrying? What are you bringing in with you? And where is it going? Like, really, you have to kind of look at that and you have to do it. And I know this is a journey and this is something that I want to be a part of. And I went from a big house to a smaller townhouse. But the reality is, I got to let it all go. Because if you were to come over and deal with it, you're going to be actually mad that I'm making you do it and
Well,
it's going to
yeah.
upset you. I don't want that to be my legacy. I
Well,
don't want to go
exactly.
and then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, that Richard, I don't even want to talk about all the stuff we had to get rid of." So I
That's,
got to get rid of it.
yeah. I mean, when we don't even want to deal with it, we're expecting somebody else to deal with it when it's not even their stuff.
Absolutely. The funny thing is, it's going to be nothing to them. Nothing.
Yeah.
It's like you going into a store and you walk by all these things and you're like, no, there was nothing I wanted. It's just the same thing. Like you go into somebody's house, and there's nothing you want. Like, and then now all of a sudden you got to deal with it. No, no, no. It's got to go. It's got to go.
I know. Yeah. The bathroom, the products in the bathroom, because we've all got expired, creams and lotions and potions that sit there. So that, we don't even get rid of that stuff. I mean,
And then when you've got this stuff under the cabinet, so I have the stuff I use is on the counter and you use it and blah, blah, blah. And then you have the stuff that's under and in the
right.
drawers. Well, that's a cemetery. That's where it goes to die.
That's a
It goes to
cemetery.
die. It lives there till death. Like it's so crazy. And then you go and you're like, if you have to question, how long have I had this? You've had it too long. It's got to go.
Right, right.
It's got to go. So I have garbage bags on every level and I have boxes on every level. And whenever I grab something and I see it, I put it in the garbage bag or I put it in the box for donation. And once the box gets full or the bag gets full, it goes and I replace it. So that's how I'm doing it. I'm doing it little by little, bit by bit, because it is a painful process. And I'm trying to sort of retrain my brain. And I'm doing it, and it's the best way to do it is just always have a pile on the go and always have something. And like my friend's kid moved out. I'm like, does she want anything? Does she want it? She didn't want anything.
She didn't want
Like, are
anything.
you sure? She didn't want anything. And she started with nothing. She moved out with nothing and she didn't want anything. This new generation, they're not going to be like us. They're going to be like, you guys actually got rid of stuff. Like, why did you even bring this stuff into the first? They're going to be so puzzled. And they're going to take history classes and be like, that generation was like hoarders and we don't understand why. Like, it's going to baffle them. Like, there's no tomorrow. Like, my niece is in Europe for 3 weeks and she took a backpack. I'm like, well, aren't you going to go? What if you buy a pair of shoes? I don't need a pair of shoes.
And I admire that. Yeah, people that can, travel really, really lightly. I can't do that.
Because
I
we're
know.
that, yeah, and we're buying stuff to take from a shelf on another country to bring it to a shelf in our country. It's just crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. I could have retired 35 years ago if I hadn't bought all this stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I know.
Freedom 95. Freedom 95.
Freedom. Freedom. Okay, this has been great. I mean,
Getting nowhere.
it's an ongoing conversation, but it's a fun conversation. I think, honestly, I just think it's important to be able to laugh at ourselves anyway, Okay, just to be able to say, okay, we've all got just too much shit. We got to do something about it. And yes, it's hard. It is hard to let go of things. It's hard to detach. So anyway, okay, Richard, tell people, because again, I will remind you listeners, that Richard is a realtor here in Vancouver. So how can people reach you?
Well, I work for Oakland Realty Encore, and you can find me. I have a website called itstimeToDownsize.com. And yeah, you can always find me. And part of the thing that I love to do the most is help people when they do go through the process, because it's a lot easier when you help others do it than when you help yourself. It is a lot harder to do.
Yeah.
But helping others is so easy, and helping yourself is a little bit harder, but we have to make it easier for ourselves. So it's all part of the journey, right?
It is. Richard, it's time to downsize.com, not .ca.
No, it's time to downsize.ca.
.ca. So
I don't
it's
even
time.
remember.
He's got his website wrong.
Website. Oh my God. Time to Downsize. You'll find it.
Yeah. It's time to downsize.ca. And
let that go too.
You can find
Another thing I'm hoarding. I gotta let that go.
You're on Instagram.
Yeah, you can find me at Richard Ferguson. It's time to downsize. I guess it's funny because I always just say it's time to downsize. I actually don't know them.
And I got to tell you, Richard puts out a really fun video every Monday. Video Monday.
Have fun.
Yeah, I know.
So, right?
They're great. And any special occasion, you've got the glasses to go with the occasion. I love that.
Yeah. You gotta have fun. You gotta have fun. No, it's always a good time. So you gotta laugh, and you gotta
You
laugh
gotta
at
laugh.
yourself when you do this.
A huge thank you to you for coming on a third time, and you just never know. You could be coming back.
As always, it's a pleasure, Barbara.